Hello and welcome to Impact Africa, our online talk show where we get to have conversations with diverse people and organizations who are impacting lives positively. And as well, we celebrate positive news, places, and more. Yes, I am Dr. Kemi Akiode Adebayo, known as Dr. Mama K, and in today's program to share a story is the caring and versatile Ms Charlene Miles. She is the founder, executive director of NOSTOP, which is a non-profit organization based in Cape Town. So my dear sister, because now you're my sister, you know that. You're first my friend and then we become sisters. Yeah, who is Charlene Miles? Tell us.
Thank you, Mama Kay, and thanks for being here at NOSTOP, our palace here. So to start with, who's Charlene Miles? Yes, if I'm going to tell you my journey and who I am, it's going to take a very long, long hours. So yeah, I'm brought and bred here in Kraaifontein area. I also matriculated here in Kraaifontein area. So, and I'm also now a retired, so I'm a pensioner. So that is who Charlene Miles is, a person who reached out to the community, and that is also why I'm sitting here today at this organization, giving all my time and energy to the community. So if you look at Charlene Miles, as I'm a mother, I am a grandmother, I am a person working, I'm a leader in the community. So looking at myself is, when you look at me, you will see all the things that I'm doing in the community. So Charlene Miles for me, the caring and the sharing person, that is who I am, and that is how I land up in this organization as well.
So before we come to NOSTOP, which we'll talk about, you were born, bred, and you schooled in Kraaifontein. How was life growing up, for you, especially as a South African, and what are you mostly proud of?
I am a very proud South African woman, and especially if you look at all the things around us today in terms of diversity of the country, and even bring it nearer to Cape Town, the mountains around us, the sea and everything that we have there. And I think that is what I am passionate about, and being passionate about being a South African, looking around all the things that we have here, and that is why I am proud to be a South African. It's so comfortable to be in South Africa, even though we have to go through so many challenges, I think, and even being born in Kraaifontein area, that time, many years ago, it's totally different, like when you look at the area now. But then again, it's strange. Change is inevitable, so we just need to adopt to all these changes. And I think that is also why I actually decided to be part of the change agents in this area of Kraaifontein and the surroundings.
What was your first job? You said you're now retired. So what was your first job? And then we'll go into hearing about this wonderful organization.
Okay, so I started my career when I was 18 years old.
Okay.
18 years old, I was a volunteer at the Home for Disabled People. So I was actually supposed, I got a bursary where I was supposed to go and study. But then after I volunteered for 3 months, when I passed my matric, I decided to go and volunteer at this organization. And then I could just feel that this is where I want to be. And at the age of 18 years old, you never realize you're just enjoying life. You're just enjoying life. Yes. But when I was exposed to the environment of this disabled home, I said, God, if you want me to be here, then you will open doors for me. So the head of the institution came to me 3 months after I matriculated and asked me, don't you want to apply for the position there?
Wow.
So that was as a provisioning admin clerk. Provisioning administration clerk, yeah. So I said, yes, that's fine. So I applied for the job while I was still volunteering at the organization there, and I got the job. So at the age of 18 years old, I had to manage various responsibilities and activities. I was responsible for personnel management. And I
can see the history now, all the link. Okay.
So we started with personnel management. Today we talk about human resources management or human capital even. So that is where my career started. 18 years old, being responsible for a whole home, responsible for the human resources, for provisioning, administration, all those things that I had to be responsible for. And I mean, based on that, when I was 18 years old, since I retired, my background is human resources management. But that was for me a stepping stone, and I think a door that opened for me, and more doors opened as I'm sitting here today.
Wow. So now let's go to NOSTOP, because I know for me the name alone was like, oh, NOSTOP is so catchy.
Yeah.
What is the full meaning of NOSTOP?
Okay.
Why and when did you start it?
Yeah. Okay. So I've been always working in the community. Okay. So NOSTOP stands for Never Overthink Situations, Transfer Opportunities Passionately.
Wow.
So the focus is on the opportunities and passionately. So when we see opportunities, you need to be in a position or you need to be passionate to transfer the opportunity to the individuals that you work with in the community. And we came up with this word of no stop. No stopping of whatever we're doing, we don't stop.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, so it's about that you can even unpack it further, because the N is for nurturing, and the O is for opportunities. So that is how you can unpack it further. So that is where we came up with the word no stop, and whatever we do, we don't stop.
Right.
Even though we sometimes we're not in a challenging space, we will still say, it's okay, we're not going to stop. And that is where the word comes from.
So when was it started?
Okay, so we started this whole organization in 2020, March actually 2020.
Okay. During COVID?
During COVID, yeah.
Interesting.
So when I realized that people cannot work anymore, and some people pay on a daily basis now, there's no income. I was sitting at home and I think, what can I do as an individual? Although now we can get permission now to work from home, I still need to do something. So then I said, Lord, if you want me to do something and a difference in the community, what do you think I must do? And again, that was through prayer. My friends answered. I called my friends, my family, my colleagues, and my neighbours. And I will still remember, I put on a WhatsApp group, WhatsApp messages to different people and friends. And the first people who came up was my neighbours. Wow. 11 o'clock at night, and they gave me an envelope. 11 o'clock at night, they gave me an envelope. Wow. And I said, I want you to start with your project. So in a couple of 3 days, I collected a huge amount of money. And then I decided, okay, now I'm gonna buy some hampers. And then I asked my friend also in Scottsville, in Scottsdene, to identify the most vulnerable individuals, because now everybody is vulnerable, but I need to care for the most vulnerable individuals in the community. And so we had this list. We went to go buy the hampers, we prepared the hampers, and we went to go and deliver. So, and then I realized, no, this is a very costly exercise with the hampers. So I started the soup kitchen. Okay. And the soup kitchen, not only in Scottsville, but I started in Hanover Park, Menenberg, Bjauwhaar, and
that's far away.
Yes, and Atlantis. Today, we are still operating in Delft. We are operating in Wallerstein, Bloekenbos, Atlantis. So there we get the support from ShopRite. ShopRite, the SKM, the mobile kitchen, so they will deliver bread and soup in those areas, because again, it's a costly exercise, but we want to reach out to the most vulnerable. So at least ShopRite assist us to giving them the bread and the soup. So so we started in April 2020, we did that and then opened the kitchens. And then we registered, I decided, I think this is what I want to do. And then we registered the organization, NOSTOP. And then later the year, December, we received our registration certificate. And then we went further and also received our PBO status. Right. So today I can say proudly that I'm so proud on the organization and the people that are working with me to make sure that we are compliant in what we are doing. So today, that is where we started with this whole NOSTOP, and I'm proud of it. I'm just happy.
3 years. That is only within
not even 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Under 3 years. Yeah. So I know now you run a few services, training, HR related and other related, and you're based within a church in Kraaifontein here.
Yeah.
So how did that collaboration start with the church?
Okay. While I was still working, and as I mentioned earlier, my background is HR. I started this organization called Cairo M Ukunukukela.
Okay. That's this one.
That is that one, yeah. So Cairo is my grandchild's name is Cairo,
Okay.
and the M is for Miles. Okay. So Ukunukukela means care. So I didn't. So I do some HR consultancy, but never had the time to do work for Cairo M. But I reached out to the community, and then I realized, but I'm going to register the NPO now. Then we can do much more with community-based organization because Cairo M is a PTY. But now I'm just, for me, it was about the social responsibility, and everything was about the social responsibility because there was no income for the organization, and that is why I registered the NPO. So the different courses that we do currently with NOSTOP is we have an after-school program at this very safe space that we have at the Bethel Tabernacle, and I will also tell you as to how we start,
please,
with that as well. So during 2020, I was approached by an organization called Young People at Work.
I know them.
And
they're doing a lot of work.
They do a lot of work with the youth. And especially the unemployed youth. So my mentor is Frank Julie, is the director of the organization, and he's also my mentor and my advisor. And I think he has 40 years of experience in the NPO sector. And I think that was the best decision for me and for him to actually to agree to be my mentor. And I think that is also one reason why we are successful in what we are doing, because you can WhatsApp him every time of the day or the night. And when I say night, it can be 2, 3, or even 4 in the morning. He will respond. So I even told him, maybe I also suffer from Frank fever because we don't sleep. We don't sleep at all. We're always just busy working. I just can't switch off. I switch off. So when I have this idea, I just have to write it down or WhatsApp Frank. And I will say, I know we may give the morning, you will read it. But then he responds. And the same happened to my volunteers. The same happened to the volunteers. I say, I know you will reply in the morning, but this is what my question. And then they respond. So yeah,
that just shows you how basically, so everybody I think knows that. Like, oh, I'm sending you this message. I don't mean to wake you. And then you're like, why are you not sleeping?
Yeah,
So I like that Frank fever. You know what? On that note, we'll be right back. Wow, Ms Charlene, what a journey. Born and bred and, schooled in Kraaifontein and still basically putting back in the community from being a volunteer, and that's the thing, a lot of people don't think about this, and then being offered, work and doing HR work, human resources work, and then being able to now run an organization that is, doing all that. Well done, for all you're doing. And under 3 years, so much has been achieved, already with NOSTOP. So tell us, what has been some of the challenges, for you at NOSTOP?
Okay, I first want to tell you, Mama, that we identify a problem in the community.
Right.
And that is that there are too many children and youth on the street. Right. Without any adult supervision. Some people would think, the adults or the parents would think, that they believe that the child is going to school and they are on their way to work, if they do work, because the unemployment rate in this area is very, very high. So they would think that they are on their way to school, just to find out later that they still at home or did not even go to school. So we identify that as a problem, and I said, okay, what can we do as an organization? So we want to reduce the number of the children in the street, and that is why we have an after-school program. Right. So the one program that we have is a music program. Okay. So we started this also in 2020. We started with 3 kids at my house. In my lounge, we started with the 3 kids because I actually contacted one organization and I said, you are doing this wonderful work in Scottsdene. Why can't we bring the same work to Scottsville? At that time, we were not even registered yet. And I said, because of KROM now and the social responsibility, can you do that? So she said, yes, okay, let's give it a try. And then they sponsored us all the music equipment. Today we have a whole full band of all equipment. It was sponsored by joint bands, not gangs.
Right.
So you can also hear the emphasis on joint bands, not gangs, because when you look at the area of Kraaifontein, there are so many social evils, and the one is drug abuse. You know, so that was one of the problems that we identified. And then there's another program that we have is the art program.
Right.
So I'm also a qualified community art facilitator.
Okay.
So we do art, we analyze the art of the kids. We bring healing through artwork. So the music and the art goes as actually as one program, because music and art can bring healing to individuals who went through a lot of trauma. And for me, it's very important to catch the kids while they're still small, and then you can deal with the individuals in that class. And that is also why we are again so blessed to have the qualified community art facilitators with a social worker, also a volunteer. And we are all trained as to how to deal with these kind of the lesson plans that we do with these kids. So we need to walk a long road with these kids to assist and support them. Yeah, that's what the music and the art program. And then we have the food security program that we have. We currently have a garden at a primary school, AME primary school, where the Department of Agriculture supported us. So the equipment, the container, everything that we need to start a garden, it's there, and we are very blessed again to have volunteers that's operating that. So we got funding from the Department of Agriculture, and Casidra is the organization whose project management this whole project for us at the garden at AME Primary School. And then we have the feeding scheme program. So we are feeding here at Bethel Tabernacle. We feed the children on the community on a Tuesday and a Thursday with a warm meal. And again, we have volunteers working in the kitchen, cooking from scratch. So that is why I say we are not a soup kitchen. We are a feeding scheme, meaning we are do much more than just being a soup kitchen, because when you interact with the beneficiaries, even you identify certain problems or behaviors. Even when you interact with them, then you identify certain things. So then I will call in the social worker. I will sit around the table and say, let's see how we can assist that one. And that is why I have amazing volunteers. And even our chairperson, Mr. Peter van Wyk, who's also from Scottsville, and he's also teaching the kids the music. So when we started with the music program, it was Oluwashe Isikalo. He was assisting the kids in the beginning, and then I said, we need more people. But you know, working in this community, and we know there are so many talented people in the Kraaifontein area. If we can only change their mindset, what they can bring back to the community. I mean, some of them unemployed, we understand the circumstances and so on. But Peter also then decided, no, he's also retired, but I will do this with the kids. And he's still walking this road with the kids on a daily basis. He's supposed to be the music director and the chairperson, but he's all over the show, even in the kitchen. He's all rounder, and our driver. So yeah, so that is the feeding scheme. When we feed the people. So our focus is first to feed the children coming from school. That is our policy, and the elderly people. Okay. Then we will focus on the other adults that's in the line, because I also want to believe that, because working in the community here in the area of Scottsville, you know already the community members. Yeah, so we make sure that we serve the most vulnerable individuals when we do the feeding scheme. That is all our programs. And then I also just want to touch on the personal growth and development. So we recently started with this computer training sessions, and I want to share this story with you.
Please.
It really started in 2020. I was looking for a venue. And at that time, we didn't have money to pay for a venue, and it was expensive to hire a venue. And I looked around, and I asked around, and I decided, they said, come and ask the pastor at the Bethel Tabernacle, Pastor Jimmy Francis. And I went to his office, and I asked, and I wrote a letter to the church council. And I said, Pastor, we're looking for the venue for the computer training. He opened his private space, and that is the door, his office. His office at the church, and we gave the computer training there. Even we used the foyer, the entrance to the church, for the second time, to use it for the community to do some computer training. And that for me, it's so touching when I think when we started with this program. And today we have our own space at the Bethel Tabernacle where we provide computer training to the community. We collab with young people at work in Paro. So previously all these people from the Kraaifontein area had to take public transport to young people. And then they asked, can't they have something in the Kraaifontein area? And that is where we went for training, myself and another volunteer, Zandra Alexander. And currently we offer the training here at our space at NOSTOP.
Wow, what a lot you've achieved there, and in terms of success stories. Let me now go to, because I know we're probably going to run out of time shortly, which, I know, most of the time, there's just so much, and this is for me why I do what I'm doing. There's so much, good deeds, being done in the community that I feel needs to be shared, for other people to hear and inspire them. So for you, what motivates you? Why do you keep doing, what you're doing? And then what are the 3 things maybe in life that you value most?
I think, why am I doing this? I think I'm taking it from my parents, my late parents. They were community people, they work in the community. And when I was very small, I followed my father even when he was preaching at the farms in Kraaifontein again. Also, so I followed him. My mother was the captain of the brigade in Kraaifontein also. So I watched them and what they're doing, and I think that is why we are such a caring family. And for me, it's about caring and sharing. And I can say today, my brother stays in George, and he's also doing the same, reaching out to the community. My one sister staying in Pretoria, she's reaching out to the community. And I think my brother's in Atlantis, he's assisting us with a feeding scheme at Atlantis again. So this is a whole family thing that we actually, that is why I decided, for me, it's not just about the passion. Passion, I always say, passion is not enough. You need to have the drive and the motivation, because if I can make an example, I can say I have the passion to be a nurse, like we spoke to the nurses earlier. But if your heart is not in the right place, because nowadays there is such a lot of abuse at the older homes, and you still say I'm a passion for nursing. So I have a passion. I'm a caring person, and I think relationships is very important. Relationships, to build relationships with your community, with your family. And have the right friends that support you as what you doing in the community. Because if it wasn't for them that motivates, and other people who motivates me to say you are doing a great job, and thank you for that. Because sometimes I don't expect everybody to say you're doing a job well done. I can do it myself and say well done, you're doing a great job. So I want to give back to the community, and also just I think what's important is the impact. There must be an impact, even if it's going to change 1 or 2 people's lives. That for me will be more than enough. When I look at that, like I say, the one is relationships, and then caring for the community. That for me is important things.
Okay, you know what? We'll be right back. Wow, I could be here listening to you all day. There's so much, in terms of what you've achieved, collaboration work that you've been working with the church. And it's good for me personally when I hear how the church is working with individuals in the community, not necessarily you becoming a member of the church, but being about how can we together address the social needs and issues in the area. And, you know, in terms of what motivates you there, I love, you know, what you were saying there, your parents, you know, what they had done and how you followed them being a community worker. And I think that's important for parents. What seed are we planted into our children? So now let me go into you being a leader, you know, where for volunteers, in terms of your board, in terms of everyone, you're in family as well, even though I don't know what position you are, but I believe whatever position we are, we're still leaders wherever, you know, God has placed us. What does leadership, you know, mean to you, and what are the qualities that you believe one should have as a leader?
Okay, thanks for that question, Mama. Okay, I think to be a leader, and they say you need to lead by example. I think in terms of the direction that I am giving my people, or the way that I manage the organizations that in terms of the Kraaifontein and the NOSTOP, I want to believe, and they always tell me, you're not a manager, ma'am, you are a leader. And when you sit and you reflect, you realize, but you need to believe in yourself. People need to trust you as their leader. If you don't have a vision, or if you want your people to share that vision or support you in that vision and dreams, you need to have the right qualities. You need to have the right characteristics. That is so important. So if you can't be an example to the people out there, being a community leader, they will never trust you. You sometimes come across people that share confidential information, and if they don't trust you as a leader in the community, who will then trust you? So like I say, you need to lead by example. That is very important. You need to speak up for them. When you attend certain platforms, you attend certain meetings, you need to uphold the name of the organization and the community you're coming from. Because there's a lot of challenges in the community, but there's also reasons why people behave like that in a community. So for me, it's about not having, you need to say it's the problem of the community. We need to look at individuals. So it's about the individual problems and behaviors that we have. So if I as a leader can portray that I am a leader and want them to believe in me as a leader, I need to show them that I can lead an organization. And I want to believe, where I'm sitting here today, in what I achieved this far, that I do have the qualities as a leader, and to take my team along me that will share the same vision. Because I cannot be alone, have this vision and this dream. I need people who share my vision. And that for me is very important as a leader.
Wow. Very, quite right, you know, and I completely agree with you. So now let me go on to, I think you've already covered some of them, but I still want to hear more. What are some of the life lessons that you have learned, you know, over the years, you know, that has helped you to become a good leader in what you're doing, and that you will be able to advise a younger Charlene to say, you know what, you know, from whether Scottville or whereabout, you know, they come from. What are some of the life lessons?
I think what is important is to believe in yourself first, to trust yourself first, because if you want to build a relationship with others, you need to build a relationship with yourself first. You need to trust yourself first. I think that for me is important to going forward. If you don't do that, it's not going to help you at all if you're going to be a community leader.
Right. So now, and like I said, there's a lot you've spoken about there, relationship, building relationship and so on. And you're already working, and I think this is my final question now. You know, and I'm just impressed with that, your life story, where you've been and where you come from. So my final question, based on your life lessons, your story, and what you're doing. You're already working in the field of helping to address unemployment, poverty, and so on. What more do you think can be done to address social issues in Kraaifontein, in Hanover Park, Mitchell's Plain? What more can be done? Because you're already providing a solution. So what more do you think, even if it's not an area you're working in, what more can you?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, Mama, it's about your passion that you must have. I think what's important is to follow your dreams, that you don't take your eye off the goal. You know exactly what is the objectives of the organizations and what you need to achieve those objectives of the organizations. I think again, it's not about, it's never to give up. Never to give up, to believe in yourself. When you look around, it's sad when you look at all the social ills in the community, and one cannot turn a blind eye. So for me, I decided I cannot turn a blind eye. I need to reach out, and even it's to change 1 or 2 or 3 people's lives. So if you don't have the passion, the motivation, and the drive, and the energy to do this, because if you do work in the community, you have to work 25 hours a day. and
I will come to 25 hours. I thought it was 24. Did you hear?
It's 25.
I know it is 25, but I completely agree with you.
Definitely 25 hours, because it's like, you need to show that you care. And not care for me, it's about when your heart is in the right place. They will know and feel the energy that you have when you reach out to the community. So I think for the lessons that I've learned is to be a trustworthy person, to be honest, not to tell different stories, be direct when you speak to a person, you know what is going on in the community. I think also what some success that can tell me a story that I can just share quickly with you before we end. It's that the opportunity we had as the community, our band, for example, these small kids, when we asked them to come and join the band, come away from the street, be part of the art programs and stuff. So, and they even perform today. They are so confident. So that for me is a lesson that I learned, that there's an impact. There's an impact then, meaning I'm doing the right thing in this community. So we don't have to turn a blind eye. We need to reach out to those who need us. And I think that is one of the success stories for me, and life lessons learned as well. Just to be yourself, to reach out and to be honest and transparent. Transparency for me is very important, especially if you run a non-profit organization. You need to be open and honest what you're doing, and your networking is very important. You need to be able to network to bring people closer and support each other, because I still want to believe there's only one objective for all organizations working in the community, and that is to serve the community. And if your heart is in the right place, we can all stand together, network, collab, and that is why I collab with so many organizations, and to bring the service closer to this community, to be successful at the end of the day, but make a change in this community of Kraaifontein and the surroundings.
Wow, Ms Charlene Miles, I celebrate you. I know, there's a lot you've said there, there's a lot you're doing. You're supposed to be retired, but I believe as well, we all, even though we're retired from official duty, but whilst you still have life, there's a lot that you can put back, and you're already demonstrating that, through what you're putting back in the community, making a difference. I see you, I honor you. Like you said, give yourself a pat on the back, even if nobody does. That is important. Self-love, it's important. You're working with a lot of people. You're getting like-minded people as well to volunteer and support you. And they see your heart. They see what you're doing. And like you said, a group or an MPO or whatever, it's to serve the community at the end of the day. So thank you for all you're doing. And well done. For all you're doing. I'm sure the people of Kraaifontein, they celebrate you, but it goes beyond Kraaifontein. It goes beyond Cape Town. It goes beyond South Africa. So because you never know where some of them might end up. They might end up somewhere else abroad, and they will remember those who touched their lives, who sowed the seed in their lives while they were here in Kraaifontein. So in closing, I know you've already given a lot of tips. Follow your dreams. There was just so much in there. Do not turn a blind eye. There was so much in there you were saying. But what I want you to do in closing is just look directly in the camera and speak to anyone. Whatever else you want to say. Just do that.
Yeah, thank you, Mama, for the opportunity again. I want to tell you today, if you have a dream, follow the dream. You must, there's no lift to success. You need to take the stairs. And if you make a choice, it's choice that you make. So don't blame others around you at the end of the day, and be there for others, care for others. And whatever knowledge you can even share with the communities, just be there and never, never give up. Follow your dreams.
On that note, that's Ms Charlene Miles, who is the founder, executive director for NOSTOP. We will be sharing your contact details, at the end, because I'm sure one area of question I wanted to ask was what are the needs of the organization, but I'm sure people can follow you on Facebook, website and all your social media handles, which we will share at the program. And I can't wait to come back and to hear more of what you're doing, because you inspire me, and I'm sure you've inspired a lot of the listeners and viewers out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
for all you do, and thank you to all your team members, from Frank Jules, your mentor, to your chairperson, Mr. Peter, to Shay, and a lot of other people that I saw, on there. And your volunteers, who are your key, people as well, and those who work with you. Well done to all of them. And I can't keep thanking you for putting back in our young people and those who struggle to, sometimes in life, to make life work. Okay, that's all we've got time for. And yes, this is me, Dr. Mama K. Till next time, I hope you've been inspired. And these are all the people impacting lives positively. You never know, one life at a time. That's how she started. Whose life can you impact? One life at a time, with nothing, with a little. A neighbor saw that and they came to support her. So where are you? Even if you can't do it, where can you support? Maybe your neighbor or love that neighbor. I love that. So we keep loving. Till next time, remember, God is love. Stay safe. God bless. Much love.